My name is Russell Reed, and I healed my vision on a fruit diet from negative 1.5 to 20/20 in both eyes. And I have been on fruits only now for 8 months with the use of herbs as well. So I've only eaten fruit and I've taken herbs for 8 months. And today I just wanted to do a little video talking about my life, how I got here, my journey, and that kind of thing, while I open up a coconut to drink and a coconut to eat. Because I am here in Thailand on the island of Koh Chang, and I really, as a fruitarian, there's not much more you can ask for. So I guess I'll get started with how I got here, how I became a fruitarian, how I even thought about doing it. And really, I was just a normal kid. I went off to college. I was drinking, partying, smoking, not living a fulfilled life with a purpose whatsoever. And I was just completely lost. I had been trying to fit in since I was about 13, and so I started drinking and smoking weed at 13 years old. And that was really something that had stunted my spiritual growth, obviously. But then at one point in college, I just had a moment of realization where something higher pushed me to stop drinking. That was really the catalyst of everything. And so I stopped drinking. I started waking up to a whole bunch of worldly things, who runs the world, blah, 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 conspiracy stuff, all that kind of good stuff. And then that led me to health. That led me to being vegan. I was doing 8 eggs in the morning. I was doing steak at night. I even tried some raw steaks. They were disgusting. And I switched over to vegan once I saw documentaries that convinced me that it was the right thing to do, that it was actually healthier and better for the animals, obviously, and better in every way. So I became vegan, and then I found raw veganism, and that really made sense to me because no other animal cooks their food. We get the food right from nature, directly from the tree, and it is perfect for us to consume. Why would we ever eat anything else? So as soon as you understand the raw thinking, the philosophy behind that, it pushes you towards, okay, what foods can I eat raw? Beans, grains, nope. Meat, that's disgusting. Dairy, yuck. You know, it pushes you away from the foods that you're not supposed to eat towards the foods that you are, which are the fruits. And I'm not some purist. I don't think that everyone should go on all fruits right now. I don't think that's a possibility. But as you'll come to learn, I have healed myself and helped many other people heal through fruits. And so think of it as a tool. This is something that you can use. If you are sick, if you're having a tough day, you're sore, whatever it may be, use some fruits to pick you back up because they are amazing. They are so full of life and energy, and they will raise your vibration. That's what I felt happening as I continued through this. I ate more and more fruits, and like I said, the drinking was already gone, but I was still smoking weed, I was still doing nicotine, and so these things just, you know, at a certain point they're raising you up, right? You're feeling better from doing weed or nicotine. And then once you raise up past a certain vibration, now the vibration of weed is actually down here. So it's bringing you down every time you smoke. That's what I started feeling, was that I felt higher all the time than I did when I was smoking weed. And so it just naturally fell off. That's another thing I tell people. Don't try to quit. I have addicts come to me and they want healing, and I don't say, oh, just quit this right now, because that's not good advice. I tell them, get your body strong, get your body healthy, and you will naturally not want to do the things that are harming you and bringing you down and making you less of you. Because the more you raise your vibration through healthy eating, healthy living, relaxation, meditation, you become more of yourself. And so I just went on that journey, becoming more of myself. And so it's really, really a beautiful thing that I hope others can find as well. And many have. That is really, really delicious. I love the fruits here in Thailand. I love the coconuts. They're so sweet, so delicious. But yeah, so my journey went on. I found the fruits. I wanted to heal my vision, right? Because I was dealing with negative 1.5 in both eyes, myopia. I couldn't see well. And so I found fruitarian thinkers that were saying, oh, you can heal your body through fruits, and that all of these issues are not diseases as called by the medical industry, but they are actually just blockages in your body, blockages to the flow of lymph and the flow of blood. And so I realized that by removing these blockages, I could actually heal myself. And so that's what got me started on the fruit journey. And after 2 months of being on, I did 33 days of watermelon, 17 days of grapes, back to back, right into one another. And then I went on all the good fruits. And within 2 months of that, my vision was healed. I could see clearly. I had no more problems with my sight, and a whole host of other things cleared up for me as well. I had 3 years of chronic gut issues where it was a gamble on whether I was going to throw up the food I was eating. That was completely gone. As soon as I was on the fruits, that was completely gone. I also had Raynaud's disease, which is this disease. It's just a circulation problem and a thyroid problem, really, that leaves you with cold hands and feet. And when you're in the cold, you lose circulation. Like my fingers would turn white or purple in the cold. And that was something that was passed down from my parents, but I was still able to fix that. That took maybe 3 months. So you get deeper and deeper and deeper as you go on here. I actually had eczema as a little kid, and the other week I went on a water fast and a little spot of eczema popped up. And so I was lazy and I didn't want to continue the water fast. I'm sure it would have gone away instantly if I had continued the water fast. But I went back on the fruits. You know, I've been eating like a pig out here in Thailand, eating lots of heavy fruits and coconuts, which they're not the lightest, most detoxing foods. And so that eczema has been slowly going away. But that's deep levels. If it's something that I had when I was a very little kid, I didn't have it until now, and it's coming back out now, that shows you the level of detoxification that I'm at. I'm reaching the earliest stages of my life and clearing that up. And so that brings me to detoxification. What is detoxification? Well, through my studies, I found a man called Dr. Robert Morse. He has seen 250,000 or so patients in 50 years. He cures everything, not in the term of medical diseases, but just in problems that people are facing. He helps them find their cure, their remedy from that. Because these people don't allow you to use their words, and we shouldn't use their words anyways, because the disease paradigm is a false paradigm. It's a false construct. So people have health issues and they come to him, right? You know, stage 4, what medical doctors term to be cancer, which is just a damaged cell. They come to him and then they find their remedy. And so I found him to be very interesting, and he has thousands of videos for free online. He's done Q&As for 30 years, and some of them are 4 hours long. Most of them are at least an hour long, and he's got 1,000 of them nearly. So there's a lot of source material out there for new healers to go find, from Robert Morse especially. And so I, really fell in love with his whole way of thinking, and I think he's spot on. Obviously he is, since he's had Fox News and all sorts of news stations covering what he's done for people, ABC, NBC, covering stories of people healing, like a man whose scoliosis pulled itself straight, as well as an old fracture in his leg pulled itself straight overnight after 11 months of detoxing on fruits and herbs. And I think that man was on vegetables as well. So fruits, vegetables, and herbs, it just shows you the power of healing. But detoxification, as taught by Robert Morse, is cleaning your lymphatic system. Because we have this body, right? A bunch of cells, 100 trillion cells, give or take, and then 2 major fluids. That is blood and lymphatic fluid. The blood is your fast-moving kitchen. It brings all the nutrients to the cells. If you had a blood problem, you would know, because you would not have very long to live. But your lymphatic system is a slow-moving, fat-based, very slow, giant system that takes a while to clean, and that is your sewer system. That is where your body dumps its waste. That is the trash. That's what takes away the waste from each of your cells. The blood makes up 20% of the fluids that flow in between your cells. The lymph makes up 80%. The blood is 70,000 to 100,000 miles long. Miles long, 70,000. And the lymphatic fluid is 4 times that. The blood has a pump, which is the heart. And people debate exactly how the blood is pumped. Maybe it's electromagnetic, who knows? But the blood is pumped all throughout your body very quickly. The lymphatic system does not have a pump that we know of. I suspect that maybe the kidneys, when they drain, that really flows the lymph out of the body, but there is no pump. There's no, when you're laying down sleeping and you wake up, your lymphatic system has been stagnant the whole night long. Your blood isn't stagnant, or else you wouldn't be here anymore. So your lymphatic system is very important to get moving. And how do you get it moving? Well, some people have rebounders and they're hopping up and down all day and doing a bunch of stuff to move their lymph system. And while that can be good, light movement, yoga, qigong, martial arts, these are all good ways. Just walking,